What's up, you guys? Alright, I just want to jump on here really quick and chat about something. So, a lot of you saw my story. If you're on Instagram, I don't think I have it on Facebook yet. We had a little drama last night. So, Carson, say hi, honey, fell out of bed, and you can see her eye. Fell out of bed, hit our nightstand. So, public service announcement, apparently don't have a nightstand beside your bed. Of course, the drawer was barely open, and she caught it like perfectly, right? And so our sleeping situation is interesting. Brandon sleeps in one room with Carson, and I sleep in one room with Sky. So he came in and he was like, "Hey babe, hey babe," and I'm like, "What?" Like sound asleep, 1 o'clock, and he's like, "Okay, I need you to come in here," and I'm like, "Okay," and he's like, "Carson fell out of bed, and this has happened before," and he's like, "She hit her head. It's pretty bad," and I'm like, okay, instantly awake, right? Like your body, I know, Uncle Ted says, ow, your body like instantly goes into like, okay, I'm awake, I'm gonna do this, which is good. So went in there and I was like, that's a pretty gaping, like it was legit, I'll post a picture, but it was probably that whole side of her face. So I was like, okay, I think we should go to the ER, which, you know, like you never want to make that decision at 1 in the morning, and I'm like, what ER? Like we don't do this stuff. So anyway, we decide like we're all gonna go, so we're gonna wake up Skylar at 1 in the morning and go to the ER. So we did. It's good we did. She ended up with 3 stitches. She was a rock star. Totally made it through the scenario. We made it through the scenario. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about was like, it was a very interesting experience in fight or flight, right? Like, so my, you know, like your mom kicks in, your mom person kicks in, right? And you're like, okay, we got this. We're gonna be calm. Like she was fine until we told her she had to go to the doctor. You know, we got there and it was fine, and so they put like a gel on there for like a half an hour that numbed it, which was okay. We're doing fine. And then they put the shot in there, and like I've never seen stitches, and clearly I'm not a doctor for a reason. And she, you know, flinched a little bit, but she did like she was so good. And then they went to do the stitch, which looks like a fishing hook. And so she flinched a little bit, and I like took a deep breath, and the doctor was like, "Mom, you good?" And I'm like, "Yep, good, totally fine, like we're good." And she did amazing. Like we do breath work with her, so she knows how to like breathe in and breathe out. She stayed super calm. Sky was amazing. Like the whole thing went really well. And then they got done. She was fine. Everything was good. And the doctor, we were standing there, and she's telling us like how to clean it and what to do for the next couple days. And I got this crazy wave of just nausea. Like, just like, I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, like, and I'm trying to like, keep it together talking to the doctor, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna throw up or pass out. Like, I've never passed out in my life, and it was so weird. But what it really got me thinking about was like, your body can handle it, right? Like you figure it out, you shut it all down, and then all of a sudden when like, you know, you're safe, you just get this like, you know, you just get this dump of emotions and adrenaline and all that kind of stuff. And it was crazy because it was so exaggerated. I was like, I tried to walk out and like, I literally was like, I'm gonna throw up, but somebody was in the bathroom, so I couldn't. And I came back in, I bent down for a couple seconds, and this guy said something, I started laughing, and it was gone. But the interesting thing, you guys, is like, think about how many times this happens in our day-to-day life, right? Like, it's not at that level, it's not that fight or flight, but like, how many times do we have those adrenaline, honey, you're okay, sorry, I've got tired kids, how many times you have that like adrenaline dump, you know, where you're just like, oh, you know, if there's a work project, there's stress, there's kids, there's whatever, and like, you kind of push down those emotions, you deal and you deal and you deal, and you never let yourself feel into it. And so it was interesting because it was such a different, like, it was such a big thing. And I literally said to Brandon, because he's like, you all right? And I was like, yeah, but I'm thinking about when I'm gonna have my breakdown, right? Which I didn't end up having to do. And for me, because I'm so much calmer and I'm so much like more at peace in my body, I was in a totally different place than I would have been a year and a half ago. Because a year and a half ago, outwardly, I would have been able to stay calm, but inside I would have been a disaster. So just think about that. Like, when you have stuff that's going on in your day, let yourself process the emotions later, right? If you can't process it in the midst, like, we all get that, but like, what happens and why we all get so like drunked up with emotions and why we all just get like so triggered all the time is that we're not processing emotions. So we get triggered, we do all this stuff, we go through our day, it's stressful, we're not sleeping, we're fighting with people, whatever, like, you know, we're putting our bodies into exercise that's hard, we're restricting our food, hold on, honey, we're doing all that stuff, and then like, we're never feeling those emotions, and then all of a sudden it just builds up and builds up and builds up, and then we have this like huge explosion. So my message for you today is, let yourself feel into emotions, let that stuff be there, all the good emotions, all the bad emotions. I gotta go, you guys. So let yourself feel into all of those emotions, no matter what, because they need to be there. So you get to love into those emotions, let them be. Yeah, and so that's what I've got. And move your nightstands away from your kids' dressers. Okay, you want to say bye? my rock star, I want to say bye. This is what kids' faces look like when they get up at 1 a.m. The other funny part of the story is we were there till 4:20, and the head nurse was like, "Do you guys need a note for work?" And I was like, "Yeah, I gotta be at work at 5. They're not gonna let me off." So, all right, guys, I gotta run. Have a great day.